Hello. Anyway, this is more Dark Souls, and this is the key for that dude in the last video that I just didn't have because I haven't planned my playthrough at all.
Below the high wall,
This
is
guy
it
has a
not
load of
the
dialogue,
home
and
of any
before,
lord? Just
so
a
basically he's
very
a
old
merchant,
settlement. An old
and before he'll
woman.
actually sell anything to you, he
Please.
wants you to do a task for
Give her
him,
this. I'm not asking for charity. In
which
fact,
is
I'll be sure to
to go and
repay
give
you
something
in
to this
kind.
lady or something.
I may be a petty thief. What do you say then?
Unfortunately, there's a boss in our way.
Very well. I humbly place my faith in. I am Grey Rat of
So
the
yeah, Grey Rat.
Undead Settlement.
Undead Settlement
Give
is
this
the
ring to
next
old
area.
Loretta at the base of the high wall. Do your part, and I'll do mine.
So he gives you a ring which is relatively useful. So the blue tearstone ring does increases the damage you absorb when the HP is low, I think. But I mean that's what it says there, but I guess you go on low health, take a bit less damage. Always useful. So, skipping ahead. Killing this guy, if you're a sorcerer, is remarkably easy. You need four of these, and he dies. And that's kind of it. Which is basically how I broke Dark Souls 2, or how the game allowed me to break it, but anyway. Once you've cleared out this bit, or you can just kind of dodge around a couple of them. Anyway, you end up with this lady, who I believe is called Emma.
I am Emma. Allow me to speak.
Everyone has loads of reverb on their voice.
You will not find the Lords of Cinder here. They have left, gone to their churning homes. Head to the bottom of the
I don't know if the whole
wall.
game takes place in this castle. I mean, I guess it might. It's kind of big. And she gives you this tiny banner thing.
If you fear trespassers, then etch this, and the old Concord will beckon.
And she lets you in to the Way of Blue Covenant. Which, as in Dark Souls 2, was the Blue Sentinels. So this, once you get to the other end of this big long walkway, you get this cutscene. It's not really much of a scene, but it's the boss, as you should know by now. And in typical Dark Souls fashion, kind of a big one. Like, he's just large. So there's the guy. Vordt of the Boreal Valley. I don't know if that's a location or it's just his name, but you see, like, damage wise, I'm not doing great. And he absolutely smashes me. You can kind of stand under him. If you're like a melee build, you can kind of just stand underneath him. If you're a sorcerer, you need to do things like this. So this is back at outside Firelink Shrine. If you go sort of above it and then round the back, you see that dude up there, who I think is just called Swordmaster, like generically. So he can take a bit of punishment, like his health is high, but he didn't even like come that close to me. And I know I'm kind of like sorcerer cheating a bit, but I don't know, it's just seems kind of weird that, like, he nearly just fell off the cliff there. Why has he not come towards me? Because he just got smacked up by spells. I mean, let's be honest. You get a couple of his items and his sword. So if you ember yourself, which I guess is just the same as human effigies, one guy you can summon here is Lion Knight Albert, and you don't have to do anything to get him. You just need to have your ember restored and he's available. And if you get your timing right, you can just kind of sneak past that dude. I'd already killed the two guys down here previous, and that guy we just killed outside Filing Shrine is the Swordmaster right there. So hopefully they're going to distract the boss while I can spam him with spells, and hopefully they're not going to get murdered really fast, so I can actually survive. Again, I guess Dark Souls isn't intended to be played this way, but it's how I'm doing it. So you get a bit more leeway when if you've already died against it, because it sort of like starts right at the other end. But that was luck, and it takes him a while to notice the other people. Like then they're kind of plodding around, and he's still focused on me, so you just need to kind of back away for a bit. Now I've got some space. I can't remember if either of them die. I think one of them dies. So the bosses in this are always tense for me. Like, I always get really worried I'm about to get murdered. And this guy covers a lot of distance really fast. So mobility is the key. So they hold up quite well. Like they can take a reasonable amount of punishment, because a lot of his attacks don't actually land properly. Seeing as he's Swordmaster over there is kind of a bit of dust. And Lionel Albert stabs him in the eyes and he dies. So that's another air of fire, and you get his soul. And I don't know yet whether it's the same as in the previous game where you can use their souls to get specific weapons. Because I can't remember the dude's name in the last one, but he would swap you the souls for unusual weapons, and then a bonfire appears where he was. So yeah, the little developer sign there, so you don't just think that's it. Peer over the cliff and hold up the banner. If I could add reverb to my voice to make it more Dark Souls, I would, but no. So you offer up the banner. You eventually offer up the banner, which is really small. Like, it kind of doesn't make sense to me, but nothing in Dark Souls does really, ever. Because then these people turn up, and quite who you're showing the banner to, because they appear to have no eyes, and they also appear to be underneath this ledge. So I don't really know who you're actually showing it to. And they swoop you all the way down to the top of this wall with another bonfire. And we are now in Undead Settlement. Well, kind of outside. But so there is nothing here. There's nothing on top of this wall. And you just get to see me run around it for such a long time. Actually, no, that was a lie, because there is one large soul, and that is all. And I thought that might be a ladder, and it wasn't. That would be death. My one problem with Dark Souls is like you can kind of see it on the wall down there, where it's like quite a big block of texture. Like the stairs, it's just you can see the texture tile just over and over and over again. Not really a fan of that. I think especially when you look at like the castles in the distance, you get these big blank walls, and it's a bit. So all these guys down here, do not worry about them, because once you reach a certain point in the stairs, you trigger those things to come out, and they just kill everyone. Although you don't get the souls through, which is kind of lame. So again, I didn't do very well there or there, like just getting out of the way of the leap, which is what I'm trying to use the wall for there, just to break the line. Like I'm offering tips now, like I know like what I'm doing, but I really don't. It just was sort of it made sense at the time. So obviously, Dark Souls 101, turn around from where you're supposed to go and go the other way. See what happens. So there's 2 more thingies there. They're just guarding an alluring skull, which is meh. I think it's the first one you get at this point, but it's just... I don't remember ever using them. Couldn't even tell you what it does.
Please, grant me death.
Yes, that was me yawning at making my own video. There's nothing down that end that I could see, and I couldn't work out which one of them was saying that. I hit a few of them and nothing happened, but... So you're going to want to murder this dude. I guess you could sneak past them and touch the bonfire, but... we don't want to do that. We just want to kill. And you get another bonfire, really close to the last one. And this is, again, still just Undead Settlement, but we're actually inside the gate. And they respawn and just kill each other over and over again. But you don't get souls, otherwise that would be a relatively easy spam. So Undead Settlement has a bit of a weird aesthetic. And the enemies look so much like Bloodborne. Like this whole bit feels very Bloodborne. Which isn't that surprising really. And it takes me a few seconds to realise you need to knock these people down. Yeah, this whole area is just, this could just be lifted straight off of Bloodborne. Like, it's dark inside. There's loads of wood. I noticed that with Bloodborne, like everything's wooden. You get some items, but most of the enemies in this room at least are these tiny dudes. So cut that down for when you get down there. Probably should have fallen off the edge there, but again, typical Dark Souls. I don't know if they're meant to look like scarecrows. Yeah. You can roll off the edge there, but you kind of drop right in the middle of their little party. And there's quite a few enemies down there. So the dude... They don't seem to do that much, like... These two just stood there. Some more pine bundles. And another one of those dudes that I completely mistimed. I think I like that they've taken elements from Bloodborne, because it was an interesting game. But like this bit, most of all so far, that is very Bloodborne. Like the first area you get to in Bloodborne, there's a load of the guys standing around a fire. This bit kind of feels like that. Their weapons look the same. They like their models look the same. It's just, it's a bit too Bloodborne, I think. I like that it's different to the other Souls though. And they're the right height to get shot in the face, which is always fun. So I obviously didn't go across that bridge, and I don't think I have yet. But annoyingly, that spell missed. They kind of like follow them for a bit, but the tracking is kind of bad. And there's another guy just kind of standing there. Shoot him in the face. And he gives me worker garb, whatever that is. That was me standing there like saving my video clip. In case you were wondering. So back into more Bloodborne bits. These guys very nearly finished me off because I wasn't really paying much attention, but one of them falls down the hole, and so now it becomes regular Dark Souls of just picking one dude off. That was me being a bit of a coward. Stab that dude. So I noticed, obviously, when trying to target that guy, you can kind of target the cage of people. So obviously, I'm assuming it's going to be an enemy. And what do you know? I was correct. There's another one off to the right, and there's two there. But you don't do a lot of damage to them, so 5 damage at a time is kind of pathetic. So I'm just gonna turn around and leave those guys. Does not open from this side. Again. As always. So yeah, you can just kind of evade them, they're not that fast. So that was me trying to just prep my exit in case I got like mugged on the stairs, but as you can see, nothing happens. I don't know why I tried that door again. Don't remember why I did that. They don't seem to do too much. So at this point, I think, I can't remember why, but I was sort of temporarily rushed. So I start trying to speedrun it, and I don't know what that thing is. I couldn't work out where it's coming from, which is probably a really newbie thing to say, but I just couldn't work out where it was, because it caused me bleeding, and it was just a pain in the ass. There's nothing down this way, and I get all panicky. But something kills me, I can't remember what it is. Because I was looking for a bonfire. Oh yeah, no, I remember. The thing I hated about Dark Souls 2, always hated about it, was furniture, no. Was getting invaded by those things. That irritates me. Because it kind of, for me, I don't know if it's just because it's like that colour or whatever, but or it's that they just force their way into a game, it just kind of breaks the atmosphere for me. But anyway, yeah, this guy smacks me up because you can see I'm doing like bugger all damage to him. If I had more sense, I would have like tried to sword fight him, because then my heavy soul arrow takes too long to get off before they can get, so it doesn't interrupt their Estus, like they drink it by the time I send it off, so it's just irritating me. He just smacks me up. So yeah, better luck next time.